I know at this point this seems like a basic opinion to hold, but I mean it when I say that I love the character of Spider-Man. I had Spider-Man toys and clothes growing up, I watched cartoons with and about Spider-Man, and I watched every single movie that came out in theaters. Anything and everything involving him I embraced with open arms, and I took the same approach with the MCU's version of the character. Now, admittedly, my opinions on the MCU's interpretation of Spider-Man seem to change pretty regularly. He isn't given an origin for his powers, but his trilogy is set up in a way that seems to be the origin of him really becoming a hero, which just feels like it took too long for him to really be Spider-Man. I like Homecoming a lot. I thought Far From Home was a bit lacking, and while I love No Way Home and where it leaves Peter, I can recognize that it was mainly carried by having our other two Spider-Men come back. But what's always been there regardless of studio interference or flawed scripts is Tom Holland's passion for the character of Spider-Man. And now with a new film on the horizon, he has the chance to really use that passion to influence how his Peter Parker is portrayed. With everything that's been shown either by Marvel themselves or people on or around the set, it seems like we're getting a Spider-Man movie that not only has a real, beautiful, and comic-accurate suit for Spidey, but that has plenty of practical effects that are no doubt going to look stunning in this movie. Everyone on the internet and I are getting ready to sit down and enjoy yet another great Spider-Man movie that I think we haven't gotten in live action for a hot minute. But along with the excitement comes plenty of worry. There are so many things that seem like they're going to be great and that fans have been wanting from a live action film for so long, but what it comes down to is the execution. So many factors could take this film from an instant success to a disappointing film, and I really don't want that for this movie. I really want this film to honor what's come before, reflect on where Spider-Man as a character should be in his journey, and bring us a beautifully crafted film that brings Peter Parker into a brand new day. Now obviously the movie isn't even close to being out yet, but I'll be discussing rumors, so if you want to avoid any kind of spoilers, discretion is advised. Regardless of whatever your opinions on Tom Holland's run as Spider-Man are, this new entry has to be the most exciting out of the bunch. After what seemed like such a long time of having Spider-Man need to either be a part of other Marvel projects or get help from other characters, we're finally going to see a Spider-Man who is independent and rising above his struggles. You can feel just how much people want to see the shining, charismatic hero that makes it through the hardships and comes out the other side. Seeing all of these pictures of what looks like hundreds of fans surrounding the set, people cheering at Spider-Man as a real person swinging through the city, it's clear that we're in for something special. Every new piece of information has made me more excited to find out what's in store for us in this movie because it seems like all of the fans' wishes are being answered. The first thing that's caught my attention is how this is seemingly going to be a more genuine and real portrayal of Spider-Man than what we had gotten in the past few years. Don't get me wrong, I know how much work Tom Holland has put into these movies, but with how much CGI is used for Spider-Man himself and a majority of the effects in his movies, it ends up feeling a bit manufactured. But this movie's production team understands that, and they've taken steps to make this feel as real to the audience as it has felt for us before. For example, John Watts had stated that for his trilogy, he thought that practical swinging just wouldn't have looked right, and I get that. There's cases where special effects are fully needed, and there's times when they look beautiful and amazing, but other times they just don't feel the same as watching a stunt performer actually move like that. Luckily, it seems like Tom Holland and Destin Daniel Cretton are committed to having real swinging scenes, whether it's Tom himself doing the stunt or a double, but it just looks incredible. For the majority of action movies, if there's any way to do something practically, I think it only serves to enhance the impact of the moment for the audience. We've seen it before with Tobey and with Andrew, but Tom really needed his Spidey to feel authentic more than anything. I've also seen that Jackie Chan's stunt team is going to be working on the movie, and that is spectacular news. It means that we could see Spider-Man pulling off some of the best live-action fights we've seen so far. If you're not convinced, watch any Jackie Chan movie, Police Story, Rush Hour, Drunken Master. Literally any of them will show what we could be looking forward to in terms of Spider-Man's fight scenes in this movie. This same stunt team actually worked with Cretton on Shang-Chi, which I think we can all agree had some amazing fight choreography. If we get something similar to that, we're going to get the best stunts we've seen in a Spider-Man film so far. Along with the stunts, the suit being an actual suit for the actor to wear is a part of what made the other movies charming. Seeing a real person take up space in the suit just brings you into the movie's world in a way that CGI just can't capture in the same way. I know this is making me sound super pretentious, but I don't care. I just want to see Spider-Man wearing a homemade suit. Not to mention that this suit specifically is just beautiful. It's comic accurate, it takes inspiration from the previous Spider-Man, and it isn't made by Tony Stark, thank goodness. That little sneak peek we had gotten at the end of No Way Home had me so excited for a homemade suit that Peter himself had stitched, and it was everything I wanted it to be. Now it's a bit more refined, and it suits the slightly more serious tone that it seems like this movie might have. I think fans of the character have been for the most part satisfied with it. Everybody has their own thoughts and tweaks for the suit, but I think it's going to be near the top of people's list for the best Spidey suits for sure. Besides all the things surrounding Spider-Man himself, the rumored cast of characters for this movie is going to be stacked. It seems like we're going to be getting the Punisher meeting Spider-Man, who are 100% going to clash, with Punisher's shoot first, ask questions later attitude being a problem with Spidey. Along with Frank Castle, we could possibly, maybe, be seeing Daredevil team up with them as well, and if by some miracle that happens, I'll be cheering in the theater because we need this team up to happen eventually. Then to add Punisher into the mix would only make that crossover even better. Now the one that surprises me the most is the rumor that we could be getting the Hulk in Brand New Day. But we're not talking about smart, half Bruce Banner Hulk. Instead, it seems like we might finally see the return of a more savage Hulk, and one that, if we go by what the comics say, would remember Peter Parker's identity unlike everyone else. This would not only give us Hulk back, which lots of people would be very happy with, but it would give us a nice bond between him and Spider-Man. Now, with everything that I've said, it seems like there's really nothing to worry about, since it seems like this movie is being made by passionate people, it's filled with things the fans have been asking for, and it's probably going to be stacked with other fan favorite characters. But there are still some things that are making me wonder if all this hype is helping or hurting what the final product will end up being. The thing about this movie that has me equal parts excited and worried is hearing about what the villains Peter will have to face off against in this movie will be. On the one hand, I love to hear how many of Spider-Man's classic rogues gallery might make an appearance in this movie. I think that's amazing. Mr. Negative, who was a great part of Insomniac's Spider-Man game, would be a great addition to this movie, having a huge role in any sort of gang war that might happen in the movie. Plus, they could either use Stephen O. Young, the actor from the game, or Steven Yeun, who I think we all know is a great actor. He could be the best villain Tom Spidey has had so far. Tombstone has also been said to be a part of the movie, with Marvin Jones III set to reprise the role, having previously voiced him in Into the Spider-Verse, and this one might just be the most perfect casting in the movie. He looks like Tombstone, sounds like Tombstone, and he's played him before. I think he would do a sensational job on playing the character, but this time in live action. Now, in terms of villains that we need to see, I think the Scorpion has been left on the bench for long enough because we've been waiting since Homecoming to see if he would make an appearance. Michael Mando is rumored to come back, and we have to finally see him in the suit, actually being the villain we all know. I'm sure that hearing about all these villains probably has you more excited than you might have been before, and it has the same effect for me. But it also makes me wonder if this movie will be able to back up the hype, or if it'll end up breaking under all the pressure. Looking back to a movie like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, I can see that despite the love and nostalgia that I have for the movie, it has a very messy narrative. It has multiple overarching plot lines that make the movie feel a bit stuffed, and that's almost entirely because of just how many antagonists this movie has. I think if you just chose one or maybe even two of these villains to focus on, the script would have been a bit tighter and not so convoluted, but the final result just didn't land for a lot of people. I'm concerned that the same thing could end up happening to Brand New Day, because if we're focusing too much on Matt Gargan becoming Scorpion, we don't see Mr. Negative become a villain, or Tombstone's gang involvement, or what's going on with the Hulk, or Punisher, or Daredevil. With how many characters have been mentioned, I think involving every single one of them would just make the movie feel a bit all over the place. I kind of hope that some of these characters don't show up and that they're saved for future projects, just so that we get a better, more neat result, instead of trying to make this movie a little bit of everything. Another more important thing that I'm worried about is that this movie is going to misunderstand who Peter Parker is. I get that fans joke about Peter's life just being absolutely miserable, and sometimes in the comics it really is. But Peter having a terrible time isn't what the fans want. We don't want Spider-Man to lose his wife to another man, or lose any and all hope. We want Spider-Man to feel relatable. The reason Spider-Man stands out among the other heroes is that he's one of us. He represents what we go through and shows us that there is a way to rise up and be good. Whatever problems we deal with day to day, Peter Parker goes through all of that, but he pushes through it. Spider-Man is a beacon of hope, a friendly smile, a kid who wants to help those who can't help themselves. But I will admit that him having to live alone in an apartment is a nice change of pace and much closer to what he's supposed to be. But on that same note, I think that it would be really cheap and out of character for Peter Parker to go back on his decision to leave Ned and MJ out of his life for their own sake. I'm so worried that they're going to make appearances and Peter will decide to tell them who he is, because it's just going to go back on where we left off with Peter. This is a new chapter in his life. He had 3 movies of still acting like a teenager and learning how to be responsible, and now he's able to be a bit more mature and move on. It's what Peter Parker does. He makes the tough choices that lead to serving the greater good. In the Insomniac game, he has to choose between saving Aunt May and having enough antidote to save the city, and he chooses the city. If he has enough emotional maturity to make a decision like that, I don't think he would selfishly go back to MJ and Ned just so that they can be in more movies alongside him. This is a character that knows he hurts the people in his life, even if unintentionally, and he chooses to distance himself from them so that they can be better off. The thing that's crucial about Spider-Man, the thing that really makes him such a special hero, is that he has the power. But along with it comes that sense of responsibility, and I just hope that the writers of this movie can see that and keep it that way. Stepping outside of a critical viewpoint, I really do think this is going to be one of the better Spider-Man movies, and I can already feel how good this movie's going to be. Everyone has come together for this movie that doesn't even have a trailer out yet. I think that everyone can just sense that this Spider-Man is going to go back to his roots, and that this film will be a passion project that will remind us why we love this character. I just want to be sure going into this movie that we're seeing Spider-Man be who he really is. A friend to his neighborhood. He's the hero of the people. He's one of us. But he stands against evil not because of pride, but because of responsibility. He uses his great power for those that feel powerless, himself included. He represents the best of us, and that's why I want the best for Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Thank you so much for watching to this point of the video. I hope that all of you are as excited as I am for this movie, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you want to see in Brand New Day. Please consider subscribing for more videos like this in the future, and let me know what you want to see from videos in the future, and leave a like if you enjoyed this one. With that out of the way, I'll catch you next time.